Well, thank you very much for that, and it's a total honor to be here. I'm, as you know, Max Fleischer's granddaughter, and somewhere along the line about a few years ago, somebody asked me, a friend of mine asked me, where are the cartoons? And I said to him, I have no idea where the cartoons are. They're scattered all over the place, but you can see them on YouTube, and we started looking around. And it's YouTube. You get all kinds of quality, most of which is pretty lousy. So we started together looking for where are these cartoons and how do you find them and who's got good copies of them. And my friend's name is Mauricio Alvarado. And together, over probably about a year, the first year of the pandemic, we scoured the internet. And we also scoured film archives and private collectors and anybody we could find who knew anything about anything. And that's what started the whole process of, okay, where are the cartoons? And then we started looking at them, and at first we were thrilled with everything. Until we realized, they could be made better. And we started getting in touch with the restoration people and realized there was a lot of work that could be done to restore these cartoons. And it took off from there, where we contacted people and then they started contacting us about participating and helping us get these cartoons restored and back out to the public. So it really became a labor of love, starting during the pandemic when everybody was sitting at home looking at their computers. That's absolutely right. It was literally handcrafted. My grandfather created or invented the Rotoscope, which kind of helped make it a little less handcrafted. But together, he worked with, he had 4 brothers and 1 sister. Sister was not included in the family business at that time. But the 4 brothers, or the 5 brothers, all came together and participated in helping to create the first minute of rotoscoped film. And then from there, it's a long story, but the shortened version was ultimately, in about 1929, both my grandfather Max and his brother Dave started Fleischer Studios. And the other 3 brothers, Lou, Charlie, and Joe, came in. And they all worked, everybody had a role in the company. Everybody did something special. Well, what happened, my grandfather was, among other things, primarily an artist. He loved to draw, and he loved machines and mechanical stuff. And at that time, people were inventing stuff. Its machinery was really coming into its own at that time. And he was working for Popular Science, and his boss had gone to the movies the night before with his wife. And the story is that he said, but I'm told it was really the wife who said, God, I hate these cartoon things. They're also like staticky and jerky and shaky. And the boss came into work the next day and said to Max, who was pretty much of a kid, well, you're kind of clever. Can't you do something to make these flow more smoothly? And that really started Max off with his brothers, and they had fooled around a little bit with cameras and projectors and things like that. And Max figured out how to use an old projector and shoot some film, which turned out to be of his brother Dave in a clown outfit, dancing around apparently on the roof of their apartment. And they shot a minute of film. And then they spent literally the next year tracing that footage frame by frame. The camera that they had didn't have a lens cap, and so they had to, actually it wasn't a lens cap, it's a shutter. So they had to figure out how to time putting the lens cap on and off exactly at the right time. And everybody had a day job, so they did this at night. And together the brothers made the first minute of rotoscoped film, and it worked. And they had no idea. They spent a year on this, and they had no idea. They might come out with junk, but they came out with a smooth looking, very lifelike, realistic cartoon figure dancing around. And that was the beginning of that. What they were really doing was they we're coming out with a new series with a little scruffy dog called Bimbo, who was a real rapscallion of a character. You know, he like smoked cigars and chased women and drank too much. And he was a popular character, but they decided he needed a love interest. So they created a lounge singer who was kind of a dog also, and that was in a film called Dizzy Dishes in 1930. And she was this funny looking character with, you know, long dog ears and a kind of bizarre figure. And the audiences fell in love with her. And she didn't have a name, and she appeared in a few films, and over time they started to refine her. And the long doggy ears became hoop earrings, the head became a round, cute little face. Her nose became a little button nose, and she became the Betty Boop that we know and love. She morphed from a dog into a fully female character.